Welcome to the Transformation Institute's podcast. This podcast will break down what real change is and how we think is instrumental to that change. In a society that often looks sideways at individuals telling us how to think, we will reveal and expose a barrage of thought manipulations and mind programming being imposed upon us unaware daily. Each week, we'll explore the awareness, strategies, tools, and mindsets needed to recognize, survive, and thrive amidst change. We'll feature insightful interviews and conversations with knowledgeable individuals and share inspiring stories of average people who have navigated their journeys of transformation and sharing their hard-won wisdom and practical advice. Whether you're seeking a shift in career, relationships, or personal well-being, this podcast is your guide to unlocking your full potential and embracing the exciting possibilities that lie ahead. Join us as we embark on this transformative journey together. Here's our host, OMARI, JAHI.
All right. Welcome, family, to the Transformation Institute podcast for change. I'm your host, OMARI, JAHI, and this is our first Thursday night edition of the Transformation Institute podcast for change. We thank you all for being on here. As I said many times before, you can post a comment like Miss Yolanda just did. Good evening, Miss Yolanda. And we'll get your comments or your questions up. This is a live broadcast. And I want to introduce you to my co-host real quick. So please put your hands together for my cousin Brenda. Put your hands together for Miss Brenda Robinson.
Hello.
Yeah. What's going on, Miss Brenda?
Too much to talk about right now, man. Let's get it.
I hear you. All right. So also, put your hands together for my buddy, Miss Vanessa Rogers. Put your hands together for y'all.
Vanessa.
Hi.
And last but not least, put your hands together for my main man, Mr. William Birch. Yeah, Brother William.
Hey, William. Will.
Hey, everybody.
Hey, I thank you all for being on. And as usual, we're gonna have some real emotional, because they always say we emotional when we have our conversations. Well, maybe y'all are, not me, but y'all.
Whatever, man.
It's a new year.
It's a new year.
New year, new stuff.
But what we're gonna discuss today is we're going to be talking about is belief and faith enough in 2025? We talked about this as a new year. So is belief and just having faith enough? I mean, I believe in a lot of things, but is that all you need? Because I hear people I used to have people coming to me saying, all you got to do is believe that Jesus Christ died for your sins and you are saved. Is that it? That's all I got to do and I can be saved? I ain't got to do no work. I got to do some work to be saved. But is belief and faith and all that stuff, is that enough? What do you all think? Brenda, you had a great comment earlier. We were talking earlier. Why don't you share your experience with us real quick?
Yeah. I can. We only got 30 minutes today, so I can't share a whole lot. But I'll just tell you that I was having a day where for 3 days in a row, I was having a day where I was feeling like, hey, I'd be praying and I was like, hey, God, do you see me over here? Because things ain't nothing happening. But I've been believing all my life. But I met someone after all the turmoil I went through. I met a young lady that I thought was in their 20s, but they're in their 40s. And she gave me scripture after scripture, and she helped me where I thought that where I was at, I shouldn't have been at the time. And she told me that it was meant for she and I to meet. And I believe that. I believe that the word of God is true. I think that we can't just believe in our heads without doing something, without entrusting our lives and our thoughts and our ways to what we believe in. We can't just walk around talking about we believe it and we have no faith that things are happening. And I was losing a little faith. But today I'm back just by talking to somebody else, because God will put people in your path if your heart is right and if you really believing him. He'll put people in your path. And I believe that these people that I met on yesterday, God put them there. And yes, I have to. And this person said to me, you got to have the faith. All you got to do is have a little faith. She said, the faith of a mustard seed. And that's biblical. And we walk around thinking we got to do a whole lot of other stuff. No, we got to have faith. But as we talked earlier, faith without works, without doing anything else, is dead. It won't work. It won't work.
I mean, you got to say knock off the rough edges. You got to clean up that brick. You want to be a brick in the building of God's kingdom or whatever, but you got all that mortar on you, man. You got to knock that stuff, all that dead crap, that excess mortar around you. Get all that crap up off you. You want to say something, Will?
No, faith without work is definitely dead. And you gotta have, in order to have faith, you gotta have understanding too. So you gotta be able to understand, the word, whatever word you're studying and you believe in, but you have to have an understanding of that, because we can have faith and not have understanding of what's expected of us, like you just said, Brother Ty. And the only way that we can have that understanding is by studying the word and understanding the word and having these types of conversations, because we can all interpret whatever we want to interpret in reading the same thing.
Right.
Most definitely. I believe a lot of people, they've lost faith. I hear people all the time talk, I played that little sad song last week, remember? About the guy that was climb the tower and jump off and all that.
Yeah, we remember.
All the stuff that he went through and everything. And he was, even in that song, he was like, why did God forsake me? Why did he leave me? And we could feel like that sometimes.
Yes.
And I don't want people to think that that just because something happens to you and it doesn't go the way that you want it to go, you start believing that God done left you or something, that God ain't with you. Yes. And we do that a lot. Yeah. And as we were saying earlier, we be right there at our breakthrough. God be about to walk us into a whole nother understanding of life and things of that nature. And we get right there. And because of all of the trials and tribulations we experience right before that breakthrough, right, we throw our hands up and say, oh, to hell with this. I can't do this. I quit, right, Brenda? I quit. I give up. Oh, forget this. Yes. What do you think, Vanessa? Come on with yours.
You know what? I think that's what makes us so human. And even regardless of what you believe or who you believe in, I can only speak from what I believe in. And just looking at it from a Christian standpoint, I think we even saw Jesus as being human-like for real, because on that cross, one of his last words was him questioning his father, pretty much. Yeah. Why did you forsake me? So here's the point. We're all human and we're of flesh, and God knows what we're going to do before we even know what we're going to do. And he knows if we believe, our strength will come through with what we believe. Even Job, the test of Job.
Yeah.
We thought Job would break. You and I would break. I know I would break. But Job was like, no, Job stood on it. Like we say, he stood on it. Yes. And so that shows you how belief and faith, if it's at its strongest point, you will prevail. And sometimes we go through things, but that's life. If it was all, roses, then we probably would never do anything the way we're supposed to. We would feel like we were able to do whatever we wanted.
Right.
With no regards for anything. So Everything has a season and a reason.
Yeah,
There's a song that says, if I didn't have problems, I wouldn't know that God could solve them. I would not know what faith in God could do.
Yeah.
There's a song. If you didn't, it's like Vanessa said, if we went through, we'd be like people who's rich and got money, and all they got to do is throw their money and somebody take care of their stuff for them, and if one day we got out on the road and nobody was there for us to throw money at, for them to take care of our stuff, we'd be lost, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, look. I mean, I agree with everything you guys are saying and everything.
Don't sound like it.
I do, because I just said it. I just said I agree. So, see that? There you go again.
Not today, Say.
I was back in 2024. I'm back.
I just said I agree.
I'm back.
But
I knew it was a but.
Yeah, that's a but. Because I still disagree with this concept of thinking that all we got to do is believe in something or somebody. When my belief is that the belief that I need to have is in myself, not from a selfish standpoint. Let me understand what I'm saying. God put something in me. He's in me. You see what I'm saying? He's in you. He's in everybody. So I need to draw on that thing that's in me, but I use the scriptures and the lessons and the all of these things to like references. When I begin to go through trial and tribulations, I have to draw on these things. Like you were able to draw on what that young lady was saying to you today. I believe that God sent that young lady to you. I really do. What about people that have lost that? You know what I mean? They don't believe in nothing no more because they've been hurt. They've been disappointed. They've been just traumatized to the point to where why should I believe in anything? Why should I believe in God? Why should I believe in love? Why should I believe in anything when every time I put my belief in something, it disappoints me? What can we do for people like that? And go back to that song again. That song that says so many hearts have been broken. What do we do? All these people that are hurt and that are broken, that have given up, lost belief, lost faith. This is what the Transformation Institute is about. We're about changing how we think and how we understand. I think Will said it best. He said something like, it's connected to our understanding. Your belief and your faith is connected to how much do you understand this thing we call life. I don't claim to have all the answers, but I do believe this. I believe that something has to be done to heal people, and I'm not just talking about going to see a doctor. I'm talking about there has to be some kind of psychological thing, because our damage is more than physical now. It's emotional and psychological. What are you saying, Will?
No, well, one of the things is to help people believe or to understand that there is something to believe in is by sharing testimonies.
Yes, I was thinking that. Yeah.
Sharing testimonies. I mean, like each one of us, we all can testify about something that has happened to us to actually reinforce our faith. As we talk, I sit here and I think, and I'm like, wow, yeah, I got some real stories about faith and not being able to, figure out how I was going to make it. But like Vanessa said, God already knows how I'm going to make it before I even get to the point where I got to figure out how I'm going to make it. So,
and
you have to believe it first. You have to have belief first. You have to believe in something first. And yes, some people who believe before have gotten knocked down and don't believe anymore. But I believe that in the back of their minds, they still know, they remember some things they've been through. They still kind of know, but they've been so hurt. And I do believe that us talking and sharing probably not pushing things on people, but like Will said, just sharing our testimonies. Because yes, I have some testimonies that even rocked me, just pushed me back and said, girl, don't you ever go into disbelief ever again. But life happens, and you might step back. But if you've had some stuff, I always say that, I told y'all there's this young man I battle with, and I always believe, I say to myself, he hasn't had a real encounter with God. He hasn't had, that's what I believe. I don't know, he might have had one and went the other way, but I believe that he hasn't had that encounter where, like Will said, there was something, you were at the end of your rope, and then God just did some stuff that it had to be him. It wasn't no people. It was a miraculous thing. I believe that if people don't have that, if they never really have that or accept it as that, then they stay kind of lost. I mean, I don't believe anybody can stay lost, but unless they want to stay lost.
But to
Real
your
quick.
to your point,
quick,
Will. Okay, go ahead.
I'm real quick though.
Okay.
Brenda, what about the person that like we were talking about, that's been hurt and maybe they lost a loved one, and they like, why would God take that person from me, and why would they take him in that way or whatever? So now they can't see God now.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So it's
Right.
it's faith and belief is what allows you to see what you saw today. You see what I'm saying? Without belief and faith, you would have just saw that as a person trying to sell you a book.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? You
Right.
wouldn't have seen all the stuff that was going on. You wouldn't have heard nothing she said, nothing. It wouldn't have meant nothing to you.
Right.
You
And
know,
see, Will and then Vanessa. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, to Brenda's point, like that's where understanding come in at, because if you don't have understanding, you're not going to even be able to identify the miracles or the things that are happening for you. Like you might, that's where this whole term come from, ghetto blessings. They think everything is a ghetto blessing, but really it's God.
Vanessa,
you believe that.
I think for us, the terms belief and faith, if we say we believe something, then it's like we say that this is true, so we accept it as the truth. For some people, they don't believe because they haven't accepted anything as true. And when we talk about faith, it's taking what we believe is true, that whole belief, and putting confidence behind it. It's almost like building a paper. When you're in school, you start with the Roman numerals and then you start adding things to build it up. And that's life. And for some people, because we didn't touch on this, some people don't believe in a God or anything, but they do believe in something. They manifest things.
Money.
But it's a belief in something. So they still, even if they don't attribute something to God, they attribute it to something. And sometimes for those people who believe and then something happens and it's like, oh, God left me in my worst times, blah, blah, blah. And then they get to this thing where they just don't believe in God or anything. Well, there's a part to that too, because when I was younger, I read this book called The Case for Christ, and it was written by an atheist who wrote the book to prove Christ did not exist. And in writing the book, he became a believer.
I just heard that on Moody Institute. Not that particular story either. Not that name doesn't ring a bell, but I just heard that the other day when I was in the car. A Moody Bible Institute, an atheist, changed his life because he married a lady who was not an atheist, but she wasn't a Christian either, but she became a Christian. And by him seeing her life and trying to refute everything she said, he couldn't. I think
for people who lose faith, people who believe in some in a God, when they lose faith, I believe God is going to eventually bring them back around, but he has to take them through something for them to see something. I mean, a lot of times when we lose parents, children, or something like that, we get at a low point, and it's hard to tell us anything about God. Some people be like, I don't want to hear anything about God. Don't talk to me. But at some point you come back around because you have to go through something sometimes you get knocked into a wall only to realize that wall was there because I put it there. Just like I put that wall there, I can remove that wall. So it's about what I believe I can do.
That goes back to Will saying understanding, though. Do you understand what you believe? Do you understand what faith is? They can't. There's too many Christians that believe that because, like Ty said, because I believe in God, that's all I got to do. That's it. No. And you can't live any kind of way. And God is still good. He still blesses you. You still eat. You still work. You still do stuff. But hey, there's a scripture that says, I never knew you. Do you really know what you believe in? Do you really know what you're talking about? That goes back to the understanding. I'm not exactly sure how you get there. I really believe that I got to where I'm at. Not that I'm all the way there, because I believed first, and then I saw things happening from what I read and understood.
But you wouldn't have been able to see these things if you wasn't looking. You see what I'm saying? You have to be searching for something in your life in order to find something. You know,
there's an exception. Sometimes we run away from things, and God pushes us back.
Mm-hmm. But even in that, there has to be some belief. You know what I mean? You still got to believe.
Why you running? What you running for?
You may be running. You may be running because your belief is faltering or wavering. You know, and so or you're scared or whatever. You know, you may be running.
Who told me that?
Me. I told you. I told you.
You told me I was scared to go to the next level.
Yes. And you still are.
Even like you just said a few minutes ago, Tyrone, when you were saying that, you know, some people put faith in money or beliefs in money. Even for those people, even if you believe and worship that money, you still have to do the work to make it work, to make it grow. So no matter what we talk about, you have to put the work in.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, honestly, even if you worship money, you worship God, because the money saying God we trust. So I mean,
true.
Yeah, but what God? That's the thing.
About that, Will. Do you know nobody? You know somebody's gonna think about it.
Look, does every country's currency have something about God?
I don't think so. I'm not sure.
No, I don't think so.
The American dollar. We can only talk about what we know.
But I mean, but even if we worship the bag, you know what I'm saying? You got to do something, like you were saying. You know, you ain't just gonna sit home and say, "I believe." Like I got a problem with people that do scratch offs and play the lottery all day, thinking they finna get rich. You see what I'm saying? Or be wealthy. Because that's not realistic. It's not. It's almost like saying, I'm going to wake up tomorrow and I'm going to be a millionaire because I'm going to go to this event and I'm going to meet a person that's going to recognize the brilliance that I have, and I'm going to be a famous rich person when I wake up tomorrow. Really? No. The life don't work like that. You got to go and put in some work in order for people to recognize your skills and your talents and things of that nature. You got to put work in. It ain't just going to happen by osmosis just because you want it to be like that. You know, I believe, I have faith that God's going to do this for me. No, God ain't going to do nothing for you. You're going to do it for yourself. And then once you take one step, what did he say? He'll take two. But what about these Negroes that don't want to take no steps? They just want to sit back and collect a check, you know, or fraud people and things of that nature, and think they're gonna come up on somebody else's demise. See, and then wonder why stuff is happening to. Look at our society. How we think we got like this?
Right.
You know, a lot of people that stop believing and don't have faith. Because I'm gonna tell you, preachers, not all of them, preachers and pastors and ministers or rabbis, whatever you want to call them, bishops, all of them. That whole system is corrupt. The system, I ain't saying the people. The system is corrupt because It used to be about people, but now it's about money. You know, the building fund, the pastor fund, and this fund, and and all this crap. You know, and they're not out in the community. It used to be where you see people out in the community trying to share the word with people. The Jehovah's Witnesses, I don't even see them no more.
It's a few out there.
They still knock on doors and ring bells.
Yeah, but it's dwindling down. You couldn't throw a rock without hitting a Jehovah's Witness.
That's the problem. That's the problem. They throwing rocks. That's why you don't see them.
Oh Lord, Jesus be offense.
Oh my God. I'm just saying. I used to have to be peeking out my window on Saturday morning.
Right.
Right. To see if it was one of them. But
well, forgive us if anyone is online. We did not mean to offend.
We better than that now.
What is that? We listen and we don't judge.
What you talking about? Because we'll say they throwing rocks.
No, because you was peeking out the window, making sure that answer the door.
That's the truth. I wasn't lying. I was. Come on, they know that people do that. They know people be peeking out the window looking for them. They know it. I was one of them. I ain't gonna lie, and I'm still peeking out on Saturday morning.
I mean, every faith and every denomination does something that somebody else. People sitting in church doing this, trying not to be seen by the pastor because they did something. So, yeah.
But we got to get back to being able to what did they used to call it? Discernment. Yeah, discerning spirit. So I'm not really talking about spirits, but personality, discerning characters.
But if you're watching, if you're praying, if your heart is right, you'll want to do that. I don't want to get real personal, but like in my family, there's a few people, how when you love them, you want them to walk the straight and narrow, you want them to kind of see some things. I'm trying not to push them, but I hear them say, you act like I don't pray. You act like I don't do this and don't do it. Well, like I said earlier, faith without works is dead. So I don't have to see you pray, but I don't see you do like anything, anything towards this. So, but I have to learn to just pray for them, keep going, trust God, but I think this title is belief and faith enough in 2025. I think we've all answered that. What you think the answer is to that, everybody? Is belief and faith enough in 2025? Is it?
I think it's dependent on each person. I think it's dependent on yourself.
No, I think it's not enough. Like you said, it wasn't enough in 2024. It ain't never been enough. Like, never been enough. No, you can't.
It was enough. We can't say, we can't speak for everyone. For some people, it may have been enough.
Enough to what? Enough to what? What are we talking about here?
We can't keep dividing us. Like maybe you're different from me and I'm different and we don't, and so the law, the rules don't affect us because I'm a little different. So if the law says that you got to believe and have faith, then I guess I can say, well, I'm a little different, so that doesn't affect me. I really don't believe it. And you have to accept that because I say I'm different. No, we all are God's children. You're a man and you're a woman, and the law affects everybody. It says believe. You must believe. If you believe within your heart, you know.
Oh my God, he's gonna see.
I'm just saying.
We're changing the program here.
We can't keep giving people escape windows to get away and think that it's okay to say that I don't have to have belief. All I have to do is work hard and do what's right.
Go to church every Sunday. Go to church every Sunday.
And I'm not saying
pay my tithe.
Pay my tithe.
You don't have to, but what I'm saying is we all go through something at some point. So So last year, 2024, may have been enough for someone. 2025 may be a problem to someone and they just don't know it yet. You just don't know. It's what, keep believing, keep the faith. If you don't have belief or faith, then I don't know what to tell you.
Well, I mean, that's understandable. But to answer the question, is it enough?
Right.
Is faith and belief enough? You
Again,
know,
it depends
I have to say
on
no.
how I believe. It just
Okay, so let's suggest
okay, so the faith part. If we keep saying all you have to have is the faith the size of a mustard seed, then that's got to be enough.
I don't.
Now, come on, because y'all said that's word.
Yeah, but I mean, to have the faith
but
of a mustard
faith
seed,
without works, you still got.
But
you can just have faith.
You said
you cannot just have faith
enough.
You can't wait. What? What I'm missing?
You said
I'm missing.
was faith and belief enough? That's enough, but you do have to put the work in. It's not going to work unless you work.
I see where you're coming from, Vanessa.
Vanessa,
I have to be a little more clear. Is it enough for us to survive?
Oh no!
You need faith,
work in.
Belief,
You
work.
know what I'm saying? You got to add that part to it. Is it enough for us to survive in
That's
25?
what I said. What's after the question mark? That's what I said earlier. What's after the question mark? Is it enough
for us to survive? What was you saying, Will? I couldn't hear you.
Oh no, I say you honestly need faith, belief, work, and understanding, because you can't even talk about a mustard seed unless you got understanding. Because who understands what a mustard seed is? You know
what a mustard seed is. Hey.
Very true.
Look at Will.
Well, hey y'all, that's our time, man. I thank you all for being on. You know, I'm gonna have to I'm gonna have to monitor time a little bit better, because we didn't really get a chance to get into our closing thoughts. No. But I think we kind of touched on it. Is it enough? No. You need to do some work. Right. You know, so we kind of put that little closing period, or I like to end the show with a solution. You know, some type of solution, you know, to whatever we're talking about. And if we're talking about, is it enough? No, you got to do some work.
Do the work.
So
do the work.
There's some work that has to be done.
Do you agree, Kevin Will?
Work it out.
Oh, here we go, Lord.
All this singing, man. Maybe next time we'll just sing through the program.
Hey, till next Thursday, y'all. Thursday, 8 o'clock. Y'all tune in. Make sure y'all put in a comment if you got anything that you want to say about the topic that we're talking about. We'll definitely put it on and see what you think about what we're talking about, because we're constantly thinking for a change. Till next week. See y'all later.
Do the work.
Thanks for supporting our podcast. We look forward to seeing you next Saturday. Until then, strive for a peaceful mind. Your activity will reflect that peace.